of the ocean from the back porch of Ira and Nina Maisler's home. We are on the waterfront in the Seagate section of Brooklyn, and as you can probably tell, the waters are getting very rough, and I'm not so sure if the storm is over yet here. It's very early. It's the high tide has just begun, I guess, and it's too early to tell exactly what the damages will be here tonight. But already many residents here, fearing the worst, have abandoned their homes here for local shelters. The emergency shelter will be busy tonight as residents here flee for cover. Jose Santiago is the first one to bed down tonight. The storm has left his home a wreck.
The water comes through my house, so I can go inside there. No steam, no hot water, no gas, nothing.
Meanwhile, National Guard troops are working overtime to fill sandbags and try to limit the devastation, but their efforts may be in vain. The waves are getting stronger and stronger, leaping over seawalls and smashing into the coast. Earlier, the storm completely leveled what used to be a beachfront home. Fortunately, the family escaped unharmed. Nina Maisler has seen rough storms before, but for her, this one is especially memorable.
I was surprised we weren't being evacuated, because I've been evacuated twice before, and it wasn't as bad as it was that morning.
It's not clear yet when this area will be completely safe. Already, workers are beginning to clean things up, like this gas crew trying to clear water from the pipes. Come on out. Now, police have asked many residents living in waterfront homes here to abandon their homes, and you can see why. Many have complied and gone to local shelters or to relatives' homes. Probably, no doubt, the image of that home that was completely destroyed earlier today is still fresh in their minds. That's the latest from here. Reporting live from Seagate, Brooklyn, I'm George Smith. Now let's go over to Frank Grimes in New Jersey.
It's just about high tide here in Seabright, New Jersey, and the wind is blowing hard, but it's really died down quite a bit in the few hours we've been here. This surf is nowhere near coming over this seawall, but when this storm hit at full force, it just rolled over this small seaside town of 2,100 people, and not one home or business escaped from being damaged by this vicious storm. The wind is what greets you as you walk on the desolate streets of Seabright. It swirls around and screams at everything in its path. This powerful wind has been blowing for 2 days and has moved the ocean into all of Seabright, devastating the small town.
We have 8 beach clubs in Seabright. Every single one of them have been partially or almost all completely destroyed. Every single home in Seabright, homes that have never ever had water before, every one of them have received water damage.
In another area, the Highlands, north of Seabright, families took refuge at the Henry Hudson Regional School.
The water just started coming in my hallway, and I wasn't going to stay and wait. I just called the headquarters and told them to come get me.
It's really a source of inspiration to see how the people are rising to the occasion. Our policemen, our firemen, our rescue squad people, the National Guard, and citizens are all coming together, and frankly, it's the one bright spot out of this whole thing.
In Seabright, most people have left the area. No serious injuries have been reported. The question most people are asking each other is, when will this storm finally stop?
It's one of the longest storms I can ever remember. It's just wearing everybody down. It's wearing our equipment down. We're down to 1 police car, walkie-talkies, the batteries. Everything is just worn out. Everybody's just completely, exhausted.
The victims of what is being called the storm of the century are tired. They just want this wind to stop blowing and this surf to stop pounding. They want to be able to come back into their town, come back into their homes, and start what will be sure to be a long, hard cleanup. Reporting live from Seabright, New Jersey, I'm Frank Grimes. Back to you, Lynn Brown.
Okay, thank you very much, Frank. Well, at this hour, all service is still shut down on the New Jersey PATH system. Workers are trying to get the water out of the system's tunnels. PATH officials hope to have the trains running by Monday morning. The system shut down yesterday when the morning high tide flooded the Hoboken terminal.
They're flying again at LaGuardia Airport, but the problems there aren't over yet. A lot of flights are still being delayed, frustrating passengers. LaGuardia closed yesterday at the height of the storm, and nearly 400 flights were canceled. It reopened just after noon today, but that wasn't soon enough for most travelers.
I see people, this happens, over Christmas on vacation, you listen to it at home, and now I really experienced it for myself, and it's It's horrible. You know, if my bag wasn't lost somewhere, maybe in Pittsburgh or Dallas, I might have just gotten in a taxi and went right home.
Now my taxi's 45 minutes late, so perfect ending to the weekend.
Kennedy and Newark airports say their flights are running on schedule.
Well, thank goodness for that. We're going to go over to Nick Gregory now and find out, is it true? Are we seeing the end of the storm of the century?
Oh, say it's so. It is true, Lynn. It is true. We are starting to see the end of it. We just have one more little effect, I should say, maybe not quite so little if it affects you tonight, but one more little problem that's dropping in from the northeast, and we're just hitting high tide in some areas, and as you can see on the reports from George and Frank just moments ago, certainly those tidal waters are nowhere near what we were dealing with yesterday. Good news for the residents, and hopefully this good trend will continue, and I'm sure it will now, right on into tomorrow, so everybody will get a chance to clean up. This is what we have left as far as advisories are tonight. Still that coastal flood warning for the area, all of our coastal waters for that matter. There's a winter weather advisory now, not a snow advisory anymore because the temperatures have come up a little bit, so we may have a little mixed precipitation here. Still a winter storm warning north and west of town. Now these are the high tides coming up at 10:23 at the Battery, and then after that we'll just be concerned with Long Island Sound pretty much and the waters in the Sound for the high tidal conditions for then. But you can see again, it's really not going to be a big problem as has been the case earlier. This is the problem. Look at that moisture wrapping still around the storm that's sitting southeast of New England. As that moisture drops back, we could get into another period of some snow and or mixed precipitation. So maybe another inch or two across the area with the most falling in central Connecticut. I'll be back a little later on the program. I'll have the full forecast and I'll tell you a little bit as to why this storm did what it did. Rosanna?
Okay, Nick. Mayor Dinkins is asking New Yorkers not to use 911 unless it's really a matter of life and death. In fact, that's the way it always should be. If you want storm information, there is a number you can call. It's area code 212-374-2303. Remember, don't call 911.